Hi, this is kayDbait with part 2 of my video for westin1985. I would like to say once again that originally I did not want to talk about this because I'm trying to get away from the political discussions for now, and I wanted to get into more philosophical, but they asked, what are your thoughts on this? And so I decided to make the video. My friend over here that was holding up the Mexico sign, when I said USA, USA, he wanted to hold up the Mexico sign and said Mexico, Mexico. That's all he wanted to do. It was confusing as heck, and he couldn't explain it because he doesn't want to be in the video. But that's what he was doing. He wasn't trying to say anything else than that. He was being a silly person, and that's what my roommates here are, silly people, mostly. Okay. Anyway, he also wanted to warn me to not let people use sound bits from my videos. And I agree, I dislike sound bits, with a passion. I feel they throw things out of context and they can be used out of context very, very easily. I like my entire argument used to explain why I say what I say. Because if I say this, but it's in the context of something else, but they don't say what context I used it in, then it changes the meaning of what I said, and I do not like that, because I like my meaning to be clear and my meaning to not be abused for somebody else, because that's not fair to me and it's not fair to the argument itself. So my friend said to tell you, and I agree, please do not use sound bits from any of my videos. I would like the entirety of anything that you want that I've said to be used. All of it. If you show one video, show the ones connected to it. If you show one part of a video, please have it so you can watch the whole video. I really dislike sound bits. So anyway, I did that intro because there's not a lot more for me to talk about, but I'm going to start talking with war. Okay, war is when two countries generally disagree on either what one of them is doing or what one of them is planning on doing, or the culture, or that one of them has something the other one wants, religious differences. There's a lot of different kinds of wars. Currently America has a war on terror, a war on drugs, a war on, was it Iran or Iraq? Afghanistan, okay. And Iran? Iraq, okay. Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't follow the wars very, very specifically. My friend here does. He was in the military for a very long time. So he does know a lot about the stuff that goes on in the other countries, but personally I don't follow them because, while they are horrible wars, they are something that I don't know enough about, and it's so confusing to try to follow them. I'm trying to figure out what's happening, and there's a lot of things happening that I can't figure out. Plus, I don't want to get it on any watch lists. It's like, why is this person looking up all these things about war? Because that's what I would do. If I looked into it, I'd look into all the stuff. Okay, a warmonger. This is another thing that a person within a culture or a government group can do. Warmongering is purposely spreading war for the purpose of becoming rich. Oh, my friend wrote something again. It is still on drugs in Afghanistan. What does that mean? The war on drugs is still in Afghanistan? Okay, he's nodding. I don't know what that means. There's a war on drugs in America too. I assume that there's a lot of drugs in Afghanistan right now. Anyway, my friend has been trying to derail my train of thought for quite a while. Now he's shaking his finger at me. I apologize for the silliness of this video with as serious as it's supposed to be. But anyway, a warmonger. Somebody that spreads, they own a weapons manufacturing company. So yeah, they're gonna, if they're prominent within the government, they're gonna say, hey, you know what that other country said about us, kind of thing, except, more subtle. That's what a warmonger is. They try to profit from war, so they also spread war. And that is an extremely greedy, extremely self-centered and damaging way of life. They are horrible people, and I will never agree with a warmonger. At least on their principles. I mean, if they say something I agree with, that has nothing to do with warmongering, like, hey, I like pepperoni on my pizza, yeah, I'll agree with that. But as regarding, let's go kill some people and make some money, I don't like that. Okay, hate crime, censorship, tyranny. if the government is not being fair to the people, because the government is comprised of people, but it still also is separate in that the people within the government have more, power, then they can become tyrannical. Usually this is with dictators and small governments that are powerful, with large militaries. But it can also be with, laws. We have a lot of laws that are giving the people rights, Bill of Rights. We're allowed to, gather and, worship our own gods. We're allowed to have weapons. We're allowed to own property. We're allowed to vote. We're allowed to do this. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to do a lot of things. But if the government starts taking those things away and saying, no, a lot of people can say, well, that's being kind of tyrannical. And then if it starts, massively taxing people, lowering their standard of life to below what, is fair, below what the government personnel has, that can be considered tyrannical. It's like, we are in charge, so therefore our lives should be better than yours, and that's tyranny. Generally, I mean, it can also be just randomly killing people they don't like that are against them, or having the secret police torture people for no reason, or justifying things without caring what the people say. That kind of stuff can be tyrannical also. I'm saying secret police kind of like, what was it, the SS or the SA? One of them was secret, one of them was public. Was it the SA? The SA was the secret police in Germany, correct? Okay. They were secret police. They would go into your house, make you disappear, and you would never figure out why. There would be no trial, there would be no judge, there would be no jury. You would just no longer be within anywhere. That is what I mean by secret police. America says they don't have secret police. I'll believe them because that's kind of scary to think that they're, and it's not just because it's scary, but it's also pretty screwed up to think that America has gotten so bad that we need secret police. Maybe undercover, but they're not going to go into my house and kill me for making a video that says, Bush is bad or Obama is good or whatever. I don't care. Rigged elections, something that is considered very bad because it's completely slapping people in the face with how governments work. It's like, we're going to say that we're having an election that's fair, and then we're going to pretty much just shoot everyone else in the foot and only let this person in. There's been a couple of countries that have elected officials. Elected, I guess you can call them presidents, but they're kind of like dictators because there's only one person within the government that tells everyone what to do. And they had 100% of the votes. And you think, wow, they're popular. But then you realize that no one else was allowed to run against them, or that it was illegal to vote against them. And then you say, that's a rigged election. That's not fair. That's pretending to have a fair elections when you're not. And that's not fair. A lot of people viewing this saying, well, how is this even happening? How can a government get so bad that they let that happen? And I don't know. I don't know the stuff behind it. I don't know why. Do your own research. I say that a lot. Okay, here's something else that can be considered bad within a government. Lethal force against protesters, or any force against protesters. Within our Constitution, there was a law allowing us to overthrow the government if it wasn't doing its job. If it was doing so bad that we wanted to actually overthrow the government, we could do that and change it, because that's what people were saying. After a couple hundred years, if it's not working anymore, if it's starting to get bad, fix it, change it, start from scratch. I mean, we'll be more educated, things will be better. And we are more educated and things are kind of better. But, if stuff starts going wrong and people are trying to protest and they change the law so that we can't protest anymore, then they start shooting the protesters with, rubber bullets or real bullets, or it doesn't matter. If the military or the police start shooting people, then things start going out of hand, and it's bad. That happened recently where there were protesters. I don't remember if they were college students, but it wasn't very big. Okay, my friend is doing this. What are you doing? Is yes? Yes, okay. He needs to start being more clear. Okay, now he's doing this just to mess with me. It's hilarious. That's why I'm smiling. Okay, lethal force against protesters. It was college students. That's what my friend said. So When you say, hey, I don't like the government and I really think they should think about what they're doing and maybe we should change it, and then they get shot, maybe they were being violent, maybe they were being irate, maybe they were being, a little too loud, I don't know, but it seems pretty excessive to start shooting people. Maybe the police or the military thought they were in danger. Maybe they thought there was going to be a riot that hurt other people. Everyone has their own ideas. People are people. People make mistakes. I'm not going to say the government did it on purpose. I'm not going to say they did it on accident. I don't know. Okay. 2 more things, and then I'm going to end the video. Fear and fear-mongering. This is a way of controlling people. If you have a common enemy for the people to rally against, that can be very, very uniting. But if you're propagating the fear so that people will agree with you, such as if you say, well, we need to get rid of these people because they're doing this, and then there's a major catastrophe that they staged, then that's fear-mongering. Or you can word things a certain way to make people afraid of statistics. This is prominent in, really biased news. That there are certain news programs that will do this. They will say this, and it's terrifying to hear, culturally, because they say, well, this is happening and we need to fix it. And I'm not going to give any examples because those are vague and damaging just to hear anyway. And I don't know the arguments, so I would be paraphrasing. That's not fair either to the people that said it originally. Maybe I misinterpreted, but fear-mongering is purposely abusing a fear in the culture to get people to agree with you and act in a way you want them to act, whether they should or not. It can be very damaging. It can be very persuasive. It can be bad. It can be good too, I guess, technically, with the ends justifies the means quote earlier. But again, I didn't agree with the ends justifies the means because that can be very abused very easily. Okay. Morally questionable acts from the government. This is going to be the last point. This is one of my little notes I put on. What is a morally questionable act? Torture. Some people agree with it. Some people agree with it with all their heart, with all of their soul, whatever you want to call it. They believe. And, sorry, my friend's moving something. Torture is, in itself, torture. I'm not going to say I'm for or against it. It is what it is. There's different ways of doing it. We've done it for thousands of years. It's very painful in almost every respect. And generally, I don't want to be tortured. I don't do anything wrong. If I did something wrong and somebody tortured me, maybe I'd feel it was justified. But I didn't do anything wrong. And I haven't been tortured. So I'm very happy about that. But if I saw somebody else being tortured and I wasn't sure if they had done anything wrong, I would say, wait a second. Are you sure they did something wrong? But then, of course, that impedes, knowledge gathering. So, justification is difficult. That's one morally questionable act. I already talked about censorship. I also already talked about internment camps, scheming, things like that. Those are all morally questionable acts that, even normal people can do. A normal person can, be a fear-monger. A normal person can torture somebody. It doesn't have to be government, but, things happen. Governments are made of people. So somebody made a decision somewhere. So anyway, almost out of time again. Almost at over 14 minutes now. So people are trying to do something in the living room. So I'm going to end this now. I kill you! Seriously? Seriously? Okay, hopefully that doesn't mess with you. That was from an extremely racist puppet. Have a nice day. Bye.